Hey everyone, today we are taking a look at Source of Mutation in normal mode, and this is for the healers and DPS. I have a separate video for the tanks if you're looking for the tank point of view. Okay, let's start with a little bit about the setup for the raid. So as you can see here, there's a tree in the center of the room and you want that tree to stay alive. And you have this green circle of protection around the tree. If you are a DPS or healer, you will stay inside this circle at all times, except for a few times for mechs. In this lovely shot of me dead, you can see the green orbs around the room for the orb phase. Now for the orb phase, you need to flip the orbs from green to purple. Normally we have 3 people assigned to flipping the orbs. However, 2 people will work. It's important that everyone other than the orb flippers stay away from the orbs, because if you accidentally flip an orb, you could wipe the group. After each orb flip, you need to use big heals to heal the damage to the raid, and this all needs to be done before the evolution wave that the boss casts, and because the 6th orb will interrupt him. Okay, we have this lovely drawing that my guild created that I totally butchered to show where the orbs are and where the numbers are. Now just take note that the numbers are kind of every other around the circle. So 1 is spaced out from 2, and then there's another number between that, and this is the order in which the orbs are going to be changed. So I'm going to play through this a little bit first and then go back in and explain it better again. So first we're going to change orb 1, and then we're going to change orb 2, which is the other, then orb 3, orb 4, orb 5, and then orb 6. But this doesn't just happen all at once. There's other mechanics happening in between. So we'll go ahead and space that out a little bit better and take another look. All right, let's start this fight over. Everyone who's a healer and DPS inside this circle, and you want to stay inside the circle here. Now the green orbs are up, so you're going to start flipping. This is starting with orb 1 in the back and orb 2 kind of behind where the screen is here. Now when you flip these, make sure heals, big heals in between the flips. You could just see a big heal there, and there should be another one after the next flip. And now the person who's doing 3 has to be careful, because the next mech up is noise pollution. For noise pollution, everyone has to stay inside the circle. If you're outside the circle during noise pollution, you most likely will die. After noise pollution, you're going to flip orbs 3 and 4, making sure to use big heals in between each flip. Then flip orbs 5 and 6. Now the important thing here is make sure and watch for noise pollution in between flipping, and also watch for the boss to cast evolution wave. Raid leaders need to call that it's time to interrupt the boss, and that's when you flip the 6th orb. If you flip the 6th orb too soon, he won't be interrupted and the raid will get a large amount of damage, and if you do it too late, then it will cast a large amount of damage as well. So it's important to use that orb to interrupt the evolution wave. Once the boss reaches 80%, the whole raid has to participate again with the mechs. You're going to look at your screen and see what color you have. In this case, Drosis has a green debuff, so you're going to have to go to a green puddle. The first puddle here is purple, so you want 4 players with the purple debuff to go ahead and get in that purple puddle. They will then be able to pop that purple puddle and go ahead and move on to the next puddle. So here people are running to that puddle, and once that puddle is popped or gotten rid of, you get another buff on you, and you'll see it in just a second. It looks kind of like a mushroom. When you have this mushroom debuff, you must wait for it to go all the way down and disappear before you can go into this puddle. So Drosis is waiting for the green, for this to go away before going into the green puddle. Now we have another debuff with this timer on it, and now the people in the back corner can go to pop the purple puddle. Once that purple puddle is popped, you'll get the debuff again. You have to wait until the timer goes down, and then the people in the far corner will get that green one, and then you can go ahead and move on with the fight. Now you all have to do this before the timer runs out. The timer is underneath the boss's name, and this one went fairly well, but you have to really do it organized in the next part. Now we're going to kind of move towards our numbers here, but you can see the boss, once he's done with that timer, he does a little jump and then you can start to DPS him again. The next phase you need to watch for are these green balls in the background. Again, we've got the flippers going on and the healers need to be watching for every time that ball is flipped. It'll do an AoE and you heal them back up. I'm not going to show the little image again because I think you get the idea of how to flip the orbs, but go ahead and watch as a healer. Besides that, the DPS needs to be watching for when the boss hits 60%. Now this is very important because when he hits 60%, the health of the tree needs to also be at 100%. You can see the health of the tree bar right in the center of the screen. If the health of the tree gets to 0%, you are going to all wipe. If it gets to 100, it starts the seed phase, which is the next phase as it happens at 60%. Now, it's really important that if the DPS is faster than the tanks, or the tanks haven't moved out of the circle fast enough, the DPS all has to stop DPS at 61%, completely stop it until that bar reaches 100. Once that bar reaches 100, quickly get him down to 60%. Okay, at this point, everybody move out of the circle and spread out because someone will randomly get the seed. You have to move into the center here. You can see Drozes has the seed, and there's going to be 3 players that meet him. These 3 players are now infected with the seed, and they will move out. You can see them move out to numbers 1, 2, and 3. Now they will infect the 3 players there who need the seed, and once they are infected, they will move over to number 4 and 5, or 4, 5, and 6. And you can see they're all moving here. We're making sure that everybody is infected with the seed, and then make sure to go to the tanks last. If everyone does not have a seed by the time the timer under the boss's name reaches 0, then those people without the seed will die. Also, it's important afterwards to make sure that the seed does not continue to pass once the tree is back. If you end up not having a seed at the end, then the tree will not come back, so that'll also wipe the raid. So just the seed is a very important part of this process. Again, there is a timer under the boss's name. Now, during all of this, you have to also watch for an ad that you have to kill in the center. Okay, I'm going to pause really quick and go back to that same scene we were just looking at. In the center, you will see an ad here. This ad has to die by the time that casting bar gets all the way down to 0. So not only do you have to worry about the seeds, but it's really important that the ad dies. If the ad doesn't die, he will kill the tree, and you will end up wiping the raid. After killing the mob and passing the seeds around, you will get back in here. There's another round of noise pollution, so stay inside the circle. This happens after the mechs at 80, 60, 40, and 20. You're also doing balls now after this, so healers, watch for those ball flips so that you can heal up really big. I want to point out the timer underneath the boss's name. This is evolution wave. It's really important that when that bar is being cast, the 6th ball is being flipped for the orbs. That will interrupt the boss. After that, continue to DPS until it is time for the next phase at 40%. So this is just like the other one. You just have to be more careful about the puddles that you get. In this case, we are at a purple. So just go ahead and we'll have 4 people stand on that purple puddle. We'll wait until those mushrooms disappear, get the next one. All right, we have the mushroom buff again. Now 4 people will go inside the green. Once those 4 people are inside the green, it will get the mushroom buff back. Wait for that timer to go all the way down. Get that purple puddle next. And then you have 2 greens at the end. The puddles are always in the same order, so it isn't too hard to remember where you're supposed to go if you have that purple or green buff. The last 2, you have usually the tanks helping out with the last green and the last purple. As Drozes is pointing out here, just run back to the middle fast afterwards. You want to make sure that you're inside that protective tree when the timer goes off. Now, there are going to be balls again that spawn right after, which you also don't want to accidentally flip. So it's really important to be back in the center. You want everyone in healing range and nobody touching the balls when they accidentally spawn. Up next is another round of the noise pollution. So everyone has to be inside that circle. After this, in the background, the orb flippers are flipping the orbs, and they need to get this done before the evolution wave that happens shortly. And you'll see that in just a second, there'll be a casting under the boss's name, and it'll say that you need to interrupt the evolution wave. This is the 6th orb again that must be flipped. Now we are at 20% with the tree health at 100. And just make sure that, again, if that tree health is not at 100%, you have to stop DPS at 21% to allow the tree to get to 100, so that seed will spawn, and then DPS him down to 20% so the ad will spawn. If the ad spawns before the tree is at 100%, the ad will most likely kill the tree and the seed won't spawn, which means that when he does the noise pollution next time, you're all going to die. So go ahead and make sure that the seeds happen first and then the ad. We killed the ad, so we're good there. Just finished spreading the seeds, making sure everyone has a seed so that when he does his next attack, you're all protected. So here we go, we're all protected, and we had a seed left, so the tree respawned. Now again, we're just going to stay in the center while the ball flippers do their flipping, and we are going to go ahead and DPS. There's noise pollution again after 20%, so everyone inside the circle. And then you're going to just continue to DPS because that's pretty much the end of the fight. The orb flippers need to continue to flip the orbs and get that done before the evolution wave that is going to happen right now. So the 6th orb needs to be flipped right there, so we did that. So be sure to watch for that mechanic. And then we're just going to finish off the boss because that's all there is for the fight. So hopefully you found this helpful. Thank you so much to Drozes for recording this for me. And you're watching VGO40, and thank you for watching.